Hamlet is one of the most demanding roles in English theatre. The actor who plays Hamlet is on stage for hours, and he has to deliver one of the most complicated and wordiest of Shakespeare's scripts. Hamlet has been played on stage and in film by some of the world's greatest actors. There's a classic early 1960s version with Laurence Olivier. Then in 1988, Nicole Williamson plays a much more bitter and inward-looking Hamlet. Then in 1990, the Australian actor Mel Gibson plays a much more active and less melancholy Dane in a very fine version of the play directed by Franco Zeffirelli. And now here in Winnipeg, Keanu Reeves will play his Hamlet. And as he told 24 Hours, he's very aware of those Hamlets who came before him.
I think it began even from the very first performance that Richard Burbage was doing, that you get passed on this performance, and people say, well, then Sir Larry did this, and Mel Gibson did this, and so you kind of get passed along this tradition of the role, and you do it. And in the present, when you enact it, I think in that moment and of that time, something gets stamped onto it.
The Hamlet with his impression stamped onto it opens Thursday night on this stage among these actors. Of course, on this stage, because no pictures are allowed of Keanu Reeves, we have a Hamlet who's conspicuous in his absence.
And in his brainless apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Hamlet is a play of many rich and detailed roles, from the acting troupe that comes to Elsinore to play the play within the play, to friends of Hamlet, like Bernardo, the guy who first spots the ghost of Hamlet's father wandering along the ramparts. And then there's Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, who has murdered his brother and taken his one-time sister-in-law as his bride. As you can well imagine, he and Hamlet don't get along very well. In the MTC production, Stephen Russell plays Claudius, Hamlet's murderous stepfather.
I guess I just don't see why he can't accept the situation that there is change.
It's pretty dramatic. Come on, what are you talking about? You've killed his father and you're sleeping with his mom.
But he doesn't know that, and I mean, Mom needed somebody to be warm with on those cold Danish nights.
Stephen Russell is an experienced Shakespearean stage actor who's well aware of the difficulties in doing justice to Shakespeare's major roles. And he admires the attitude that Keanu Reeves, a film actor, brings to the role of Hamlet.
It was heir apparent that he had been doing a lot of work. A huge amount of work on a play. This was not just going to be a walk in the park. This was not going to be a fly-by-night thing. This was going to be total commitment.
Winnipeg actress Laura Schroeder is the player queen in the MTC production.
I think that's what makes a good actor, is someone who has a very clear sense of what they want to do, where they want to go.
So there's no sense in which he's slumming it here by doing Hamlet at MTC?
No, I think for him, it's an exciting opportunity.
Winnipeg actor and musician Gene Pierce plays Bernardo.
I've noticed that he's a very physical actor. I can relate to that because I'm sort of the same way. If I can't move, just let me move, then I can act.
Reeves himself recognizes that Shakespeare is physically demanding.
I'm finding when I'm doing the verse, etc., and there's a very heightened, I guess, emotional states. And so the breathing and it's very, very physical.
Keanu Reeves hasn't had a lot of experience acting Shakespeare on stage. He last wrestled with Shakespeare's language in Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing in 1993. He plays a character full of brooding malevolence and little interest in conversation.
Being reconciled to the prince, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
On the strength of his performance in Much Ado About Nothing, I wouldn't have thought that Keanu Reeves was the obvious choice to play Hamlet. But what the cast working with him tell us is he's an actor who's fearless.
Keanu is somebody who's not afraid to try anything at any time, which, along with giving it a sense of immediacy, can also give it a certain sense of danger, a sense of just at the moment.
It's an approach with which Keanu Reeves is quick to agree.
There's a lot there, and hopefully I will be able to go as far as the play.
For 24 Hours, I'm Robert Enright.
They came by the busload. An audience of 800 high school students got a first glimpse of film star Keanu Reeves playing Hamlet.
In the movies, he has a lot of takes, so I don't know if he's a good actor, but here, this will really show if he can act.
I think he'll be great in a Shakespeare play. I just don't see him being a jock kind of person like that. I see him being as a person more Shakespearean kind of. I don't care what he does, he's going to be the best. I like him so much. Doesn't matter what he does. As long as I get to touch him, see him all.
What's the appeal about him? Why is he so special?
He's sexy.
Across town at R.B. Russell High School, evidence of more Reeves fans. A sign reads, "Break a leg, Keanu."
This is I, Hamlet the Dane. And this was also Hamlet the Dane yesterday. And we are all Hamlets the Dane.
Students from R.B. Russell were in the audience yesterday for the first dress rehearsal. The group is studying Hamlet in English class these days, so the MTC production is a perfect teaching tool.
Most of the human race has experienced depression. And that's why Hamlet is considered to be the story about us all. Hamlet is a universal figure who examines some of the primary questions of life and death.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
These students have mixed views on whether Keanu Reeves is the right person to play Hamlet.
He is a good actor, though. I must say that I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off because I still have him kind of stereotyped as like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
He's more of a comic kind of actor rather than tragedy kind of actor, you know what I mean? So I don't think he did really that good.
Keanu Reeves may leave Winnipeg with the reputation of being a great comic Hamlet as opposed to being a great tragic Hamlet.
The students especially remember a point in Act 5 when Reeves forgot his lines.
He turned to the audience, he smiled, he admitted he forgot his lines, and the crowd just, go Keanu, they were really supportive of him.
It kind of showed that he wasn't just an actor, it showed like he was like a person too.
Opening night is next Thursday, and in case you had any doubt, all 30 performances are sold out. Virilyn Cubanek, CBC News, Winnipeg.
2 hours to showtime, and the anxious and the curious are waiting.
It's the last day that he's going to be performing, so it's the last day where we actually know where he's going to be.
Praying with pens and posters in hand for a brush with stardom.
He's my favorite actor. I really want to meet him.
Finally, the payoff.
Thank you very much, Keanu.
And with that, many dreams came true. Keanu spent about 15 minutes signing anything that could be written on.
So this is the first time in like 3 days that we've actually seen him, and so I got first dibs on my sleeve, so.
I went for it, and I got it, exactly. I got a keepsake, so it was well worth it.
And then a few parting words from Hamlet himself.
Keanu, how was Winnipeg?
Oh, it was great, thanks. It was great.
Was it a good run for you?
Yeah, it was.
What's the best part of the city?
I guess the people that I met.
Throughout its 4-week run, more than 20,000 fans bought a ticket to the show. Some traveled thousands of miles. A highly respected critic from London will take praise of Winnipeg art back to England.
What amazes me, and I've only been here a few days, is that within a very small community, in fact, there's a tremendous amount of art going on.
And what's the long-term payoff for the theatre? A spokesperson says it's hard to measure what Keanu's Hamlet has done for MTC. Rod Carleton, CBC News, Winnipeg.